Hi there, it's December 4th, Thursday. This is the Saltwater Report, North Carolina's coastal news and fisheries coverage. I'm Bill Hitchcock, and we got a fantastic program to get out to you, as we think we always do. Bluefin tuna have been landed, and I mean literally I had to stop from doing this show because just got a brand new report in. It's up and down the coast of North Carolina. Sea mullets by the bucketful still happening around the coast. Blackfin tuna, speckled trout are about. Red drum still being caught. Believe it or not, some very large flounder have been caught and released. And speaking of big, huge, Pompano are still being caught. We got viewer catches to get out to you. There's big changes in the wind and sea and weather and conditions for this weekend. You don't want to miss this. And as we keep going on forward, please keep in mind, like and subscribe this channel. Tell a friend about it. Now, I want to get into some news. Mandatory reporting, we all know that that's in effect. It started December 1st. But why is this happening? There's a couple of things I wanted to get out to everybody. This new reporting requirement was established by the North Carolina General Assembly through Session Law 2023-137. The Division of Marine Fisheries is implementing the law and providing the tools, guidance, and support necessary to help fishermen comply. Information collected through the new program will be used in conjunction with data collected by the existing data surveys to better inform fisheries management. Now, I'll give you a heads up. I reached out, a phrase I don't like, but I contacted Kathy Rawls, the director of the Division of Marine Fisheries. I sent her a bunch of questions that I would like answered. And my questions, by the way, are really focused around data quality, compliance, and scientific reliability, behavioral and economic impacts, and the long-term use and public transparency of this information. I want to know if there's a plus or minus margin of error. Are they going to factor in the folks that aren't reporting? So does it invalidate the reporting? But we'll get into all that. Again, I've sent those questions out to Kathy Rawls, the director of the North Carolina Division of Marine Fisheries. And as soon as we get that stuff back, I'll get that out to you. Now, as I alluded to rather poorly at the beginning of the program, this weekend, the weather's going to change dramatically. So let's go on and take a look at our wind and sea report, our sea surface temperatures, and our coastal weather forecast for this weekend. It's time to go on and take a look at our wind and sea conditions and our sea surface temperatures and a whole lot more. It's brought to us by Satfish, the satellite fishing technology folks that bring us real-time information like what you're looking at here and forecasted information. Let's go on and take a look what's happening. You're looking at the winds when I'm doing this on Thursday morning, December 4th. You can see that the winds are coming out of the east around 9 knots, northern Outer Banks around 7, 8 knots, in the Pamlico Sound down here at Cape Fear around 8, 9 knots. Now, I want to jump into Friday and go around Friday afternoon. You can see the timeline down here. Friday afternoon around 4 o'clock. This is what is forecasted. Look at that center of circulation right off of the Outer Banks, off of directly in front of the North Beach of Hatteras. There's some low pressure that's scooting on by. What that's going to do, again, this is Friday afternoon around 4, is the northern Outer Banks is going to get like 18, 19 knot winds. Pamlico Sound, 16, 17, 19 knot winds. But down here in the Carteret County, Cape Lookout area will be protected by the landmass, so it's only going to be like 9 knot winds, and pretty much the same thing in Cape Fear. Now, Saturday, what's it going to look like? Saturday, winds are still a north wind, but boy, they're only like 8, 9, 10 knots in the northern Outer Banks here in Pamlico Sound, 6, 7 knots. Down in front of the Bogue Banks area, only about 4 or 5 knots. Cape Fear, pretty much the same thing. And on Sunday, what's going to happen? Well, the winds pretty much out of the same direction, just a little bit stronger. Northern Outer Banks around 10 and 11 knots. Pamlico Sound 9, 10 knots. Cape Lookout 8, 9 knots. Cape Fear the same thing. Let's go on and take a look at Monday. See what? Okay, fine. There we go. Gets a little bit windier. The wind shifts north-northeast. Northern Outer Banks 19, 20 knots. Pamlico Sound the same thing. Down here in the Crystal Coast area, same thing. And in the Cape Fear region. Now let's go on and take a look at some sea surface water. Well, this is actually the chlorophyll Where you see the orange, the more orange it is, the more chlorophyll, which means there's phytoplankton in the water, which generally means bait fish. So if you look up in the Neuse River and the Pamlico River and here in the Albemarle Sound, you see these real orangey spots. That supposedly is where bait fish is, and that should be a speckled place, a trout place to be. And look here out of Oregon Inlet, it's showing pretty much the same thing. Now let's go and take a look at our sea surface temperatures. This is a 3-day composite. We've had a lot of cloud cover and rain, so we don't have clear pictures, but I do want to point this out. Working from the North Carolina-Virginia line, just right off the beach to the beach, 54, 55 degrees. Pamlico Sound, pretty much the same thing. The little shot of Albemarle Sound, same thing. But where it really starts to differ, and I wish, of course, we couldn't get a clear shot here, but you see here right in front of the waves, Rodanthe Salvo area, 56, 57 degrees. And then when you hit the south beach of Hatteras, we're looking at 60, 61 degrees, and then scoot on off just a little bit more, 69, 70 degrees. These areas ought to be pretty good for king mackerel fishing right here. And speaking of which, work on down here to Cape Lookout Shoals. This cool water here really collapsed last week. The warm water has just come on in where you got like in the northwest places at 60 degrees. But look at this when you head on out towards like the 30-minute rock. It's up about 10 degrees from that. So it's 68, 67 degrees. The west rock, 70 degrees. This ought to be really good king mackerel fishing. All this whole area here, south of 13, this whole area here ought to be really good king mackerel fishing. The 90-foot drop is cooled down at 75 degrees, and out here in the Big Rock area, which by the way, the Big Rock is a big area. You can see the northeast and the southeast of the Big Rock. It's beneath 80 degrees. It's 77 degrees right now. And when we work here off of the Onslow Bay area, you see it is cooled down. It's 58, 57 degrees, and you got to work way far on out before you get any type of warm water. Same thing in front of the Cape Fear, Ocean Isle, Little River Inlet area. It is 59. It's a little bit warmer degrees, but you got to go way out before you get into some warmer waters. Now, let me see if I can get this one other thing. Let's see, pop that on out here. Take a look at this. I want to show this to you. Sea surface height anomaly. This is the height, and this is measured in centimeters. You can see here, let me pull on out here. Look at this. Do you see the circulation here? It's 30 centimeters below sea level, normal average level there. Up top here, same thing, 32 centimeters. Now, 2.54 centimeters equals 1 inch. I remember that from school. So this is lower than normal. Pamlico Sound waters are lower, but out here in the Gulf Stream area, you can see that it's 13 centimeters higher. So that's like 5-6 inches higher. And really what this is showing is cold water. That's really what it's showing. I'd like to thank Satfish, the Satellite Fishing Technology folks, for supplying us this information, both in real time and forecasted weather. Go to their website, satfish.com, satfish.com. They got a lot of things to offer, so go take a look. Now, let's go on and take a look and see if it's going to be rainy, dry, cold, or what this coming weekend. All right, time to get on with the fishing report, and then we'll get into viewer catches as well. And by the way, don't know, anybody remember the show Max Headroom? That's kind of, I'm old. The fishing report. Fishing Frenzy out of Nag's Head said the Blackfin were pretty cooperative today, and this is yesterday, and yes, they have been for the past week or 2 weeks actually. Now, speechless sport fishing. I actually looked into this while they were doing this live. They're out of Pirates Cove. Take a look at this.
Look at that.
They write, Speechless is on board. It's a 345-pound bluefin tuna dresser, and boy, are we grateful to have her. Let's get another. Remember on Monday, I said they probably know where these fish, when the bluefin tuna season opened, I said they probably know where these fish are. Don't be surprised if you hear a fish being caught on Monday or Tuesday. And here you go. All right, Salty Waters OBX. Man, this is a speckled trout catching foal. He said recent annual Bay River kayak camping trip with these fellas and several that aren't in this photo. So many good photos from this trip. These pics just scratched the surface of the memories, laughs, stories, and brotherhood we share among us all. Thanks, fellas. Look at all those speckled trouts. And by the way, look at this. Salty Waters OBX, he's showing his lures here. Look at all that. You want to catch speckled trouts like him? Well, here's a start for you. I won't say you'll catch just like him with that. And remember in our last show, we did a thing about color in speckled trout. Notice how light those colors are. The Miss Hatteras Party Boat. I wanted to get this out to everybody. They said, had a fun weekend. It was this past weekend. Finally had the weather and people to run live bait trips for king mackerel Saturday and Sunday. Bill had the biggest fish Saturday at 48 pounds, and Dante had the biggest fish Sunday at 41 pounds. We are usually wrapped up for the year December 1st, but we'll run a late season live bait trip this weekend, the weekend of the 13th and 14th, if we have good weather and interest. So show some interest. Those are some pretty big king mackerels. Frank and Franz, this is December 1st fishing report. This is the first picture of Chester is from today. The second is from yesterday. You can tell it was much cooler today. And I really wanted to showcase this simply because welcome to the coast of North Carolina. If you don't like the weather, it'll change. You see in one picture, he's all bundled up. And in another picture, he's down to just about his skivvies, barefoot, and fishing. Same location, just different 24 hours. Welcome to the coast of North Carolina. They said the sea mullet and drum didn't seem to mind. Lots of them out there. Several drum are being caught. Joshua caught a nice 41-inch drum today at ramp 55. And the group caught some sea mullet for dinner at ramp 34. Spectacular or Hatteras-like tackle fishing out of Teach's Lair. He said, I had the opportunity to take Jamie Altman along with his son Cade and brother-in-law Jason out fishing not long after getting home from my hunting trip. Per the drum. There you go. Ocracoke, trade winds. They said, great news. Now this is important. It says, great news, Trade Winds Tackle is excited to remain open through the winter to better serve our winter anglers and duck hunters. We will be open 10 to 3, Friday through Tuesday, and closed on Wednesdays and Thursdays. See you on the beach. Now, and here's Matt Geo. Matt Geo? Why does that sound familiar? Oh, Nat Geo, that's why. Caught this monster red drum on November 29th off of Ocracoke's Ramp 68 on fresh mullet from Trade Winds. Now, I was reading that message from Trade Winds that they're going to be open. And again, I keep reminding folks, if you're coming to the coast of North Carolina and you want to go fishing, contact that pier, that bait and tackle shop, the marina, whatever. Just make sure they are open or what hours that they are running. Here we just had Trade Winds to say, woo, we decided to stay open during the winter. So good job for them. This literally 10 minutes before I started doing this, I got this message from Emerald Isle Adventures. On the board, Bluefin, they're still out in the water. They haven't brought this fish back to the dock yet. As I'm doing this, they're out in the water bringing it on in. So way to go, Emerald Isle Adventures. That's another charter. I don't know this, folks, but they always have something going on. Outcast Outdoors, Captain Richard Sadler, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, out of Swansboro, said Kelly started out with a nice striper, didn't get a picture, and never stopped reeling in fish. He ended the trip with a 25.5-inch striper. Todd caught a short trout and a huge white perch. It was a tough day for Todd. Kelly took home the Nutty Buddy Championship with the largest fish and most fish. Todd won the largest white perch category. I really love it. He gives out these, they're called Nutty Buddy. I think they're like wafers with chocolate and peanut butter inside. Whoever catches the biggest fish, the most fish, and things like that. And I think that's a wonderful idea. Chasing Tails Outdoors out of Atlantic Beach, North Carolina on the Causeway. The Sea Mullet, a.k.a. Whiting, a.k.a. Virginia Mullet, a.k.a. Kingfish, or a.k.a. King Croakers. Bite as good as it gets right now in the Morehead City Turning Basin. Toby, Larry, and Christopher had a great day of fishing. They were using a local-made Sam Gitter rigs tipped with bait shrimp and fish bites they picked up at the shop. All right, in the southern region, Surf City Ocean Pier, Daniel Moore with a 7.8-pound black drum at Johnny Mercer's Pier in Wrightsville Beach. Sea Mullet on the deck again today. Even a flounder release making a showing. That's Rick Dove. Rick's at that pier a lot. During the summertime, we saw a lot of Rick when he helped gaff a fish. He was a helper for almost every picture. And now we're seeing Rick in front of the, on the other side of the catch. And so congratulations, Rick. Viewer catches. Brad Shook. Look at this pompano. He says, pompano bite was good yesterday. That was December 1st on Johnny Mercer's Pier. Got five pompano between the two of us, all over 2 pounds. This one was 3.19 and another was 2.99. The fish were caught on sand fleas. And again, I keep bringing this up. In May, going into June, it was Ocracoke North. We're catching these up to 5-pound pompano, really big, and then nothing. And then all of a sudden, about 2 weeks ago, we're hearing down in the southern region, those big pompano are being caught. Woof. It just happens. Zachary Binkley is caught on November 26th, just west of Southport, behind Oak Island, using an MR28 mirror lure, working it very slowly towards the bottom. It was 24 3/4 inches. Wow. That's all I can say. Wow. All right. Rich says, hey, Bill, caught these nice sea mullet and puffers on Sunday afternoon on cut shrimp in the surf at North Topsail Beach. Congratulations, Rich. That's all the fishing report information that we have for right now. That's all the viewer catches that we have for right now. This weekend does not look like very promising. The wind's going to be okay, but the rain is not going to be okay. The fish don't mind getting wet, so if you don't mind getting wet, you might want to consider going out and fishing. Email me, billhitchcock@mail.com, billhitchcock@mail.com. Send me your pictures and your videos, your questions and your answers. I don't care if you're a bait and tackle shop or a pier or a professional fisherman, a guide, an amateur fisherman, it doesn't matter. Take pictures of your favorite lure. Say, hi, this is my favorite XYZ ABC lure, rigs. It doesn't matter. Send it all in. It helps us all out. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel here and tell a friend. Until then, I'm Bill Hitchcock. See ya.